let's talk about finding an author mentor, because as authors, we need people who have gone before us, who have done the thing, who have walked the path, who have lived the journey, who learned from the mistakes that they've made and the things that they've seen so that they can turn around and teach us coming behind them just how to avoid some of those pitfalls and succeed where they had to learn the hard way so that we can learn the easy way. Finding a mentor is incredibly helpful, but there are a lot of different ways to do it. And I will start off by saying you should not just have one author mentor. You should have several. There should be several author mentors, and throughout your career, you are changing your mentors, not for any reason other than you are growing and they are growing and everybody's going to be doing things differently. So as you both grow, you might diverge onto different paths or different ways, or you can learn something better from someone else. Oftentimes when we find mentors, they are teaching at a certain level, even though they're at a higher level, and they always teach at that level. So many author mentors, people who are putting information out into the world, are teaching the younger part of this industry, and you will grow beyond that. So that does not mean you have to find a mentor and attach yourself forever. It does mean you can support them, you can show up to their things, you can still get valuable information from them, but as you grow, you need to level up who you are learning from in what they are teaching. Not because you have outgrown them as people or their careers, but because you've outgrown how they're teaching and who they are teaching. So be aware, you should have multiple mentors, and you need to verify everything they say. People who are putting out information, who are teaching, who are coaching, who are doing all of these things need to be verified. And not just like, oh, one time, oh yeah, they're good. But when they say things, when they teach on things, verify it with other people. Even if you are following me, if you're using me as your mentor, if you are working with me in some kind of capacity, you should be verifying the things that I say. Even if you feel like, oh, she's got it, she's been doing this a really long time, all of her other information has been good and valuable and trustworthy, you should be checking in on these things before you implement them into your business, even if you've been with me or with somebody else for a hot minute. So with that in mind, let's talk about different types of mentors and how you can gain access to these mentors. The first thing you need to know is that not all mentors have to be like a hands-on mentor. You do not have to have somebody that you go and directly ask questions to. Most of my mentors are big name people who are educating in this space, who are doing really cool things for the industries, but don't know my name. But I sit at their feet. I learn from the dust of the masters as they are walking forward. I am so close watching what they're doing that dust is kicking up on me. I am paying close attention, and I am reverse engineering their career where they are now back to where I am so that I can take those steps too. Your mentors can be people who are giving education on the internet. You do not have to pay for coaching. You do not have to hire a mentor, and you do not have to spend your entire life bothering somebody without paying them for mentorship. Your mentors can be in person. They can be people that you talk to. They can be friends of yours that sit down with you and have a coffee and have a conversation, or you can have people that you are learning from a distance. So with that in mind, you want to start looking for mentors. First and foremost, people that you can watch and learn from without interacting with on that, I need you to put your hands on me and deal with all of my stuff kind of capacity. So you want to be looking for people who are educating, people who are educating on YouTube, who have podcasts, who are educating on TikTok or on Instagram. Again, going back to the verifying things, because we see so many people giving really bad advice on social media because they can. We're right now inside of my community, there is a person in the author community who keeps giving author advice, doing live streams, doing all of these things and switching her names around because she is a con artist. And people keep coming out. There's so many people coming out saying all these really bad things are happening. So she keeps switching her identities on social media so that people don't know she is a scammer. So you have to be very, very careful. Even if somebody sounds smart, even if they are constantly putting out information, it doesn't mean that's somebody you should be listening to. And some of these big name people who are coaching, who are making money off of authors, who have courses and podcasts and all of these things, sometimes they are where they are because they are the loudest in the room and not because they're the smartest or the ones with the experience or the knowledge. So you have to do your research. So we're looking for people who are putting into this world that we can educate ourselves with. And then we are going back and doing the research of reverse engineering their careers. If you want to be where they are, you have to see how they got there. The things they're doing right now are not the things you can do right now. You have to go back and see where they started when they were at your level. See the kinds of things they were doing and mimic that in the modern context, of course, because they're ahead of you. They're at least a few years ahead of you at this point. And so the times have changed. The way that we market has changed. You can't do the exact same things that they're doing because it's probably ineffective now, but that type and that style and that reach of things are what you should be implementing right now. So I really love, for me and for you, for all of us, to have mentors that don't know our names, but we know everything about them. And that's how I get most of my mentorship. I really work strongly with people who are powerhouses in this industry that I could not get access to without shelling out a ton of money for masterminds or for coaching. So you want to make sure you're looking for the people who are highly advanced in this industry, who are doing really cool things, and who are actively putting daily out into this industry to help people grow. Those are going to be your best mentors. You're going to learn so much, you're going to grow so much, and you're going to feel that community because of what they're putting out there. Now, if you're watching this video, you're part of my community. You are actively here looking and growing. You've been a part of this channel or my platforms for a really long time. You can feel more of a community if you get into my comments and you start talking with people. A lot of people in my space watch me from afar, and I'll get DMs and I'll get emails from you, but I don't get as many comments from all of you. And you could have a community. You could have a community with me because I respond to all of my comments, but you could also have a community with fellow like-minded people who are following me and engaging with me. So build your own community around your mentorship. Now, you can also get a mentor who's an in-person mentor. And that doesn't mean in a physical space. It could be a virtual capacity, but it does mean you're checking in with them. You're saying, this is what's happening in my career, and you are getting advice directly from them. For the most part with this, if you are going to be doing this with anybody who's more than like one step above you, you do need to pay for their time. Those people just don't have the capacity to help everybody grow their business. I tried for so many years to help so many people, and I would give free advice. I would spend hours and hours of my week helping these people grow their businesses and make their sales, and it's just not something I can physically do. So you need to make sure if you want to hire a higher level person, you are going to be paying for coaching, or you're going to be paying for some kind of mastermind or mentorship, and that will cost you, but that is a really good way to have very specific oversight on your career because they know you. They know what you're doing. You're having those conversations where they can fairly clearly see those through lines, and they can give you specific advice to you. They're overseeing your career or part of your career. That is hands-on input you're not going to get from watching the big name mentors out on social media. So if you want that hands-on approach, you do have to compensate them for that because they simply don't have the time and effort. They have to pay their bills too, which means their time is going to be better spent writing their novels, doing their courses. And courses are another great way to get mentorship. If you don't want to pay for coaching or masterminds, which are a bit of a higher ticket thing, you can buy a course. And a course has step-by-step on-screen information guiding you through a process, something that will help you to take some kind of action step. Some of these courses are going to be small. You can get them for $10. Some of these courses are going to be huge and you pay $1,000 or $2,000 for them, depending on what you're learning, what you're getting out of it, and then how much profit you're going to make from it. There are a lot of different ways to price these courses. So it's going to be different from each person to each person. And if you want to take courses, I have recommendations. I have people that I trust. I also have some courses out there. But if you have somebody that you think you want to take a course from and you're not sure, by all means, come drop me a link. I will go look at it and say if it's going to be valuable to you or not to invest your money in that. I'm always here to help you find the right fit. So just because I have courses and things out and mentorships, just because my friends have them that I can recommend does not mean I am going to say, oh no, you cannot work with this other person. That's terrible. If they're good, if they have quality information and I can tell it's a green flag, by all means, I will tell you that. I think that is completely fine. I am here to help you find the right fit, and I'm never going to push my stuff on you, but I do have it available. So if you want it, let me know. But you want to make sure you're finding hands-on coaching if that is what you need, or that somewhat hands-on coaching that's a little bit removed because you don't get direct contact with them all the time through courses. So you have the ability to find mentors that you can just watch and learn from on your own, at your own pace, from a distance, where you don't have to shell out anything, no money involved. You just use your time and effort to create that mentorship. You can find courses that give you that limited mentorship, and you can find mentorships, mastermind, coaching, all of those things. Your goal here is to have multiple people to watch. You do not want to have just one entity overseeing your career. Let me give you a little picture here. Back at the very beginning of my author career, I had one person who actually pulled me into the author space, into the indie publishing space, I should say. And I kind of let this person guide me for a little bit. There was a good half a year where this person was where I was getting the majority of my advice because I just didn't have anybody else to get advice from. And she gave me really bad advice because she didn't know everything, but also because she didn't want me to outpace her. I work faster. I was getting better reviews. I was getting more reads, and she didn't like that. And she actively told me to do things that held me back dramatically in my career. So we want to make sure we're learning from multiple entities, multiple sides of things. You can have those distant coaches, the actual you've paid for coaches. You can have a mix of all of these things to learn and to grow. So no matter what your budget is, no matter what your level is, no matter what you want to put into this, you can easily find and access mentors. And then it just becomes a question of, well, how much direct oversight do you want from these mentors? Are you somebody that can plot your own course and learn from these people, and you can do it entirely on your own? Then by all means do that. If you're somebody who can't, then it's time to start saving and investing in that coaching, in those masterminds, in those mentorships, so that you can have that hands-on direct oversight so that you can plot that really easy course through your career. There's a lot of different options, a lot of things that you can do, and you can go from distant and doing it on your own to be right up close and personal hand holding with your mentorships. And it just depends on what you need and making sure that you find the correct fits for you, and understanding that as you grow, you will be changing who your mentors are. Drop your questions on mentorship in the publishing industry down below, and follow along for daily videos helping you navigate the world of your from your marketing, your social media. That's the other channel. Of your publishing, from your writing to your publishing to your marketing, to make this your most profitable year ever with the least amount of stress and overwhelm and time commitment on your content creation, so that you can live your best author life while also living your life. We'll see you in the upcoming episodes.